Shit that was made for the government. Shit that was reports and stuff.
That's what we do.
Shit,
We
that
start
was
mid-conversation.
Yeah,
All right,
Hey.
everybody. Mid-conversation.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of...
Yeah, and I was listening. So, yeah, another episode of Push Talk.
There we go.
It is 5/20/2023. And today we've got McLeod, Sothersill, Caleb. Let's see, anybody not on video? Nope, that's it.
No, I think we're good. We're good at the moment. We will most likely have, like, you know, people randomly jump in, as we always generally tend to, as and when, because, you know, we're a fairly chilled talk show compared to, you know, the likes of the Meta Show, for example, which you can catch in about 3 hours time.
Trace.
Right here.
That would be when we are about to be done, right?
No, that will be an hour after we're finished, yeah.
So let's start by apologizing for the on-screen Twitch chat. We don't know why it's so big. It's big.
Yeah, something changed. Something. Yeah, there's somebody tweaked some dials or some things.
Yeah.
And yeah, like
By
for whatever reason, we can't reduce the size. If we just reduce the size, it just makes it's still the same size. It's just a smaller version of that same size.
Yeah,
I mean, some people get excited at that size. Come on.
Yeah.
But
By
hey,
the way, guys,
you know what I think about that? At least there is local chat. Right?
So we're not going to have the size doesn't matter discussion. Is that it?
We can definitely. We've got 2 hours. We could have that discussion.
Seth really wants the size discussion. I can tell.
Just remember, guys. Just so everybody knows, I am very under the weather. I have a little bit of a sinus infection that seems to be moving to my chest, so I am coughing a lot. So do expect me to mute a lot. The guys on Discord are going to hear me, but the audience won't. Hopefully, too much. I did start out coughing a little bit. So for anybody's worried, I went to the doctors. I've got medicine. It's just the first day of it, and it's plus we had a guinea pig escape. My fault.
So you've been running around chasing a guinea pig.
Well, we're training them to be picked up now.
Oh, that's good.
And there's two of them that
guinea pigs can be fairly quick when they want to be.
Shut up, Bane.
Well,
we're not discussing that.
One is
and
of course,
is
particularly adventurous. His name is Bacon.
And of course, when it comes to sort of the speed of guinea pigs, size does matter in that regard. So we can jump. You know, that's our segue back into what we were talking before.
There you go.
What you wanted to discuss, Caleb.
Okay, I'm just going to help. I'm going to help you for a moment here, Mac. It's not a guinea pig. It's a capybara.
That's a different thing. That you may
look very similar.
You may have been missold, and our subject, you know, you may be capable of getting compensation for your claim from being missold a capybara instead of a guinea pig. So
the requirement of size of pool to have one of those is considerable.
Well, there's two things. Like if you're buying capybaras, like one, you need a pool for them to swim around in, and two, you need an ample supply of like tangerines.
Yeah, guinea pigs they're not water people.
Maybe they are.
They're more dog, I think, than guinea pig.
I don't know. They're quite chill. So, like, you know, and a lot of dogs aren't chill. But thank you very much, both to Eric and also to Cy Bulba for the subs.
Getting money out of Sebulba, that sounds impressive.
Mm. I hope you're well. I hope you're well, Sebulba.
Seriously, I don't get any points for that reference. Jesus Christ, this audience is shit.
You're not getting any points.
Oh my god!
I that reference went right over my head. So you know, what didn't go over my head was Jesus. How do you fucking pronounce? Nilink. with a silent K at the start, I imagine. So thanks for the sub, Nilink, and for the bits, Sibobba. Cheers. What's been happening in the world that we can discuss today?
We are not discussing the real world.
I mean,
anything else? Anything else? Not. We're not talking real world stuff. It's a horror show, and I want to get off it. I've been screaming at the fucking clouds for tech support, and nothing is happening. Nothing. So let's talk Eve. That's a lot more comforting. Even though apparently there's a glitch in the Matrix because it keeps rolling back to events that have been happening for the past 20 years. Today we're going to talk about... Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? We're going to talk about local chat.
I mean, it's not like we didn't discuss local chat last week, but like, it is a continually... strangely like life, right? The only consistent thing in life is change, and the only consistent thing in EVE Online is like seemingly local being super inconsistent, right?
Well, I have to explain to you what the word change means, apparently, because it's not what we have in EVE. What we have in EVE is repetition. It's recursiveness. It always rolls back to the same things, same issues, same weird variation of breakage. This is like some Platonesque cosmology. Where is Dirk when we have to talk about Plato and Aristotle?
In Finland.
Is that safe?
Yeah.
For Finland or for Dirk?
Both.
Not for Finland.
Of all the people we could send to Finland, Dirk and Wibbler sounds a little bit excessive. Are we trying to start a war?
Excessive or frightening? Which one is it?
Well,
they're straight on the Russian border. You do not want Wibbler next to the Russian border.
This is true, actually.
It's not straight on the Russian border.
Finland is the closest you can get to Russia without being in Russia.
I mean,
safely get to
other countries, yes.
I'm being terrible at geography right now, and I'm wondering whether, it straddles Russia or Belarus. It probably straddles Russia, right? Actually.
Yes.
It straddles Russia, yes.
Yeah.
The actual scary parts of Russia where they have all their boom booms and stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah,
which is probably
where Polyarny
because
is,
it straddles Finland, which should make you afraid of Finland, not Russia.
It also shows us how extremely chill the Finnish people are living that close to Russia.
Well, I mean, they remember what happened the last time.
Yeah,
sure.
I was about to say, that's probably the reason. But apparently in Russia, apparently in Finland, Dirk was. Someone mentioned to Dirk that he had strong Viking genes.
Oh my god, I'm going there. Are you going there?
Yeah, apparently so. Because Dirk isn't here to defend himself, so it's free reign.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going there.
You of all people know that he is at least 3 or 4 generations removed from actual Viking heritage, right? Just like Rollo and his Norman friends and all the William the Conqueror invaders. They do have some blood left, which explains their excessive violence, but not really anymore. They were speaking French.
It was more to do with his looks, and I think it was more to do with the fact that he has he has ginger hair, obviously, right? And he has an undercut, so that quintessential kind of thing that people kind of assume is a very Viking thing, but it's not, because to be completely honest, when I think of Scandinavians, I don't think of ginger hair, I think of blonde hair, right? Like
Hi.
yeah. So
You can't say hi. We can't see you, Soth. Your internet is shit.
My internet is intermittently dying. Yes.
yeah. Oh,
I thought everything was better in Germany.
Usually it is,
typically.
if it's tech stuff.
The internet is future technology. So yeah, we haven't conquered that yet.
It doesn't go suck, blow, bang. That's Soth's specialty.
It has been
What
future
the
technology
fuck
in
did I walk
Germany for
into?
the past 20 years. So
You walked into a stream, Bard Ghost. That's what you walked into. And thank you very much, SG Horus, for the Prime sub.
Excuse me. Yeah, guys, I'm just gonna cough the whole show.
Yeah, so I don't get
Whole
where the
show.
whole kind of Viking genes comes from when somebody in Finland basically says that that Dirk has Viking genes. Like I in some weird misplaced idea of what Vikings look like, maybe, but to me, Vikings might have the same sort of hairstyle, but not the hair color.
Did you expect some groundbreaking?
No, they were probably really
coming
wasted.
from a dude talking to you at a concert while standing in line for the toilet.
It sounds like the weirdest pickup line I've ever heard.
It probably was, yeah.
It makes me very scared about the thought of going to Finland looking like this.
Hey, it's fine. I'm sure
we should just start a brand of jeans called Viking jeans.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. To be completely honest.
What do you
I'm just going to say, if you put 2 Sikh runes on it, I'm not getting into this.
What are we putting on it? Not putting on it? What are you saying?
We're not putting 2 Sikh runes on it.
We're putting whatever you want on it, buddy.
You can have any kind of rune on it, but not 2 Sikh runes.
I literally am not seeing a company called Viking Jeans.
Well, we're gonna put a Viking bee on it. That's what we're gonna do. Bunch of Viking bees in a boat. Gonna kill you.
The Viking bee will be the company logo.
Yes, that sounds perfectly fine. Look at that! Look at that!
Girls, it'll be like DoorDash all over again. Girls will want something on their back pocket.
Not even 2 minutes in, we already know what our logo will be.
Like this is hard.
It's destined to be that.
All right, I'm going back on mute because I'm going to cough.
We got some weird fucking tangents on this show.
Just slightly.
I'm just grateful that the listeners are in for the same ride. Are fine about the same ride.
Yes, and if you really want to participate in trying to completely segue us and get us down rabbit holes, write weird shit in chat, and we will most likely end up picking up on it and follow you way down there.
I'm sorry, we don't read chat. We don't respond to our viewers in chat. It's like a rule.
I don't tish. Passive aggression.
Oh, we definitely don't. We definitely haven't done so far today already.
Never. We love it when you guys are active in part of the conversation in chat. Makes us feel like you're right here with us, and it's fun.
Hey, the best part
they're trapped here with us.
The best part of an act. See, because you said that, Bard, I'm now thinking of that bit
Rorschach.
in that bit in thingy with Rorschach. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Totally sidetracked what I was about to say as well. Fuck.
Yes. Let's go straight to the ultra-violence bits.
Yes.
That's where we're going now.
So since we're talking about chat, how's Chat and Eve working out? How's it going on?
There's chat?
Oh, there's chat?
There's chat, but it's inconsistent. It's consistently inconsistent, right?
We weren't sure, so maybe chat can tell us about chat.
In Eve.
Is it working again on Tranquility?
Is that what happened? Did somebody start pasting out that Epstein didn't kill himself in chat, and then suddenly it seemed to suddenly break for no reason.
Oh, that's probably it.
Yeah.
Didn't you have
Epstein.
Didn't you have a story, or rather, you had a sacrifice that needed to be made here today? I thought you mentioned something about. Well, I think Erik will be right up on this one. We were supposed to sacrifice a scapegoat or something, throw all our sins and hatred onto this thing, and then send it out into the desert.
This isn't Lord of the Rings. We're not pouring all our malice and hate into a little object and then like sending it out to.
Yes, we are.
Murder everything.
Goat.
I'm not going to be blamed for another second coming of Saruman, or for Sauron. Sorry. But I mean, if we want to get into it, shall we get into it?
I think you should.
Sure.
I really think you should bring out the goat.
Okay, I'm in the process of trying to find the thing, right? So there was people got aggravated, like, and if you didn't see this in r/eve, then I don't know where you've been as such, or I can understand maybe if you weren't on our Eve, and to be fair, like if you weren't on our Eve,
controls.
I can understand that to some degree, because sometimes our Eve can be really, quite an ordeal, right?
I have better things to do than going on our Eve.
Yeah, so we'll distill it down for you, so you don't have to go wade through the bullshit, and you can just
And there's way more interesting subreddits for Soth on Reddit.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a subreddit for any and every experience, I guess.
Experience.
I guess
that's what we're calling it now.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I was literally looking at the thing here, and it said CCP player experience, so that's where I just landed.
Right.
But right, so somebody lost something, and they got aggravated about it because they feel like they lost it because local chat was not functioning correctly, right? And so what does someone do when they're aggravated and they've lost something due to CCP? Well, they put in a petition, a ticket. They put in a ticket to get reimbursed for it. And this particular time, a lead GM by the name of GM Goat replied, saying the following. Right. Unfortunately, chat issues and outages are not grounds for reimbursing a loss suffered, as the design and intention of the chat system was never to be an intelligence tool or something that notifies you of hostile approach or any dangers you may face. The scanning tool is meant for that.
If only he had stopped himself after the first line, right? If only he had stopped himself and not continued and talk about
like
he would have been completely fine.
If it had just gone, unfortunately, chat issues and outages are not grounds for reimbursing a loss suffered, ended it at that, and when if you're still affected by an issue that was not fixed, please submit a new ticket and we'll answer it as soon as possible. Best regards. No issue. It would have been a non-issue. It would have been a non-thing. But he went the way and said, as the design and intention of the chat system was never to be an intelligence tool.
Well,
something.
And then he also mentioned that there is the scanning tool, which he
also mentioned.
If I vaguely remember, people are now having issues with DScan.
Oh no!
Really? I shit you not. People are reporting that one person is seeing someone on DScan and someone else isn't seeing them.
Oh, so wow. The quote of the show is now, "I shit you not."
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, so scanning doesn't work.
So I don't know who I don't know whether they have autonomy with the GMs to basically, especially the lead GM, right? GM Goat. I don't know whether he has autonomy to just say something and just send it out into the ether, right? Or whether he has to sort of get sort of that signed by a superior and kind of that's fine to go. To be sent. But if he was, if a developer signed off on that reply, then Jesus Christ, they threw him under the bus. But either way, it's just bad because I'm sorry, but maybe the intention of the chat system wasn't to be an Intel tool, but the design definitely was.
I mean,
next you're going to tell me that webifiers are not meant to accelerate your ship.
No, indeed.
So as I lawyerese the statement, right? Anything
right.
that CCP decides wasn't intended or designed for X can never be used. And by the way, is there a document that actually says it wasn't designed or intended for that?
No, there's actually documents that state quite the opposite, isn't there?
Yeah, there's even media that CCP has created for promoting Eve.
Isn't there also tutorial guides that says check local?
I don't know, but there is specifically Eve, like there's a specifically like a scope video that was highlighted as well on Reddit that showcases CCP explaining that the local tool is used for Intel purposes.
So I mean, hey, show me the design docs where it specifically says not intended for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And if you can't produce those, suck it, CCP.
Reimburse the dude.
Even with those design docs, at what point are we talking the video game equivalent of death of the author?
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. Your software, for whatever reason, whether it was a service in the cloud, bad transmission, lost packets, whatever the fuck it was, your system didn't function properly and caused X.
Yeah, but there's something to be said that when did the guy lose the ship? Like, was it on the first day of the chat issues, or was it well into the chat issues? Because we've known this has been a problem for a while now.
I'm not sure whether it's the same person, but I definitely read something, anecdotal kind of thing, or in the same threads.
Yeah.
Around somebody who was basically complaining about the communication, like the inconsistent communication from CCP. Because like the first 2 days, right, CCP put on the launcher that there were issues around the chat system, right, and then on the third day they removed it, right. So someone coming in and playing and seeing those two on those 2 days that the chats that there was an issue with the chat system, is informed that there is an issue with the chat system, right? On the third day, when they opened up the Eve launcher and it didn't say that, it's reasonable to assume that, okay, well, they've resolved this. Good. There won't be an issue. And then that person lost a ship due to the fact that somebody was in local that he never saw because it didn't show up. And he wasn't expecting to be jumped, and he got jumped and had his ship killed. So he expected that he should be able to get a reimbursement for that ship, but apparently not. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, that is definitely a problem with CCP and CCP's inconsistent messaging.
So you see, this is, I mean, SG Horus mentions it in chat, right? Well, if you know local is bought, don't fly big or shiny boats, which. Yeah, okay, I would tend to agree. And yes, if it was the day after they removed the thing and people are still talking about it, fine, but that's still not good for CCP, right? That's 20th anniversary suffering from chat issues and people can't play with their big shiny ships because the game's fucked on the 20th anniversary.
You're 20 years into the game. How chat is not like a super streamlined, absolute like perfect thing. I don't know.
Well,
because like chat is a very, very base level thing for an MMO. Like,
yeah, but
I know you refresh things on the I know you refresh things as an MMO, especially a long-term persistent MMO. Like, you have to refresh systems here, there, and everywhere. But it doesn't look good when you're 20 years down the line and your chat system is fucked up.
Well, the problem is
at the same time, guys, right? I mean, I understand the chat system getting bored. I deal with systems all the time. Hey, it's run the same for 20 years. Today, the entire thing blew up. We haven't changed any code. The situation was different. The load was different. The number of users was different, right? Any number of things can change your code. Somebody moved a VM to another location and got another IP or something like that. You never know. Or they fired one up, right?
But the core problem is that chat as a system in EVE Online has a functionality that it should never have had, and they never figured out how to implement an alternative. Way back in, I want to say, Alpha, they were toying around with improving things like radar functionality and all that stuff and putting it properly on the hood, right? But they just left it in this pop-up window scanner feature instead, and it's not live, and it's all of this shit is just so antiquated. I feel so bad for new players coming in and expecting a modern game experience, and they're seeing these tools, our overlays, our scanning tools, and our chat system. They are so antiquated and bad when you think about it. It's only because we are so used to them that we accept them.
You know what's even worse though, Caleb? This chat system is their revamp of it from a couple of years ago that they had no end of issues with then. The prior, actually antiquated version worked and didn't have issues. They only had issues when they tried to fix something that wasn't broken.
This is on cloud now, right?
Yeah, they moved it onto the cloud and have had no end of issues ever since.
Well,
It's because it has to be, it has to interact.
Nope.
You touched something there, Eric.
I went to type in chat, by the way.
He moved our chat into I hope it's back. Yeah, okay, it's back. Okay, cool. Eric, very temporarily moved our voice chat to the cloud and it suddenly broke. So sorry about that.
I didn't move it to the good cloud. I moved it to the
At least
expensive
we haven't
cloud.
got 20 years of experience in this and it breaking.
No, we only have about 10, but that's fine.
Yeah. So the issue that I have, right, and coming from where I started when you guys couldn't hear me, but like coming from what I'm thinking is like, there's kind of like two separate systems that are somewhat connected to some degree, right? You have a chat system which, we all have like in game, we all have like various different chat channels, Intel channels, like Alliance chat, Corp chat, all that kind of thing, like different chat channels that we're all in sort of thing, right? But we also have the local channel, which is essentially, a chat room for everybody in that particular system, and people move in and out of those chat rooms as they move in and out of those systems, right? That's the kind of bit that's tied to people in local and people seeing people in local and using that local tool, using local as a tool. But like, I don't know. I think maybe people talking in local is a quick way of basically like conversing with somebody who you come across that you might haven't seen or that you want to talk to in some way, shape, or form. But like, just right clicking and starting a conversation is just as the easy way of doing that. Like I don't see why local has to be a chat channel as such.
Well, that's because of the antiquated legacy of the code, right? How it handles sessions and players' location. It's just a little bit sad that we haven't modernized this so we could get something like, because in EVE right now, everything has an absolute location, right? So it should be possible to add something like, call it an extreme long-range scanner to the scanner functionality, so you could actually see outside of gates, right? So you could see into the adjacent systems and whatnot.
About that.
So
Well,
so
that
I don't know
should
where
be
you're coming
possible.
from.
let me interrupt real quick, guys.
Yeah.
So look at
I
the
don't know what
Streamlabs there, guys. There's a link there to a Google form. If you're enjoying the show, please take a few minutes to talk about the show in a positive way. We'd love it. So that's my interjection. So continue on with your stuff.
Well, the point I'm trying to make here is that they should have modernized this way back a decade ago, right? And actually added the absolute positions, so maybe constellation based, so your scanner could give you a very vague idea of the people in adjacent systems that are not yet jumping into your system. Because if they had done that, we could have. Can I finish? Can I finish? If they had done something like that, the whole Intel tool problem would not be a thing. You could literally claim, okay, we're just removing chat from all of this and making it a classic MMO chat that is completely disconnected from location. And you don't have to bother with that bullshit.
We have that, but think about it in terms of this, right? Every sci-fi show you see, right? All of a sudden, there's a little alert, and it's like, hey, Klingons are close. They're closing in on us. Okay, it's no different than an active tool that runs in the background that says, "Hey, there's alert."
They're not quite on the starboard bow yet, but they're on their way.
Yeah.
Look,
well, I mean,
they're gonna introduce this. They're gonna call it the Scancaster, and it's gonna be usable in faction warfare only.
So hang on, can I just ask a question, because I'm fairly certain this was a thing. I'm not sure whether it's still a thing, but like anybody who actually actively plays Eve could be able to fairly quickly figure this one out, because like I don't want to actually starting up the Eve launcher puts me on edge. But there's Constellation chat, right?
Yes,
I know that they
there's regional chats, there's Constellation chat, and there's system chat, and you're only forced to stay in system chat, and that's just bullshit. It's bad as a chat system. You should be able to mute or leave whatever channel you want, and then it could auto add you when you change into an area where it's valid, and then you can use your chat settings to not do that if you don't want to. It's just having chat linked so deeply to the gameplay is just so fucking lame in 2022, 23.
Should CCP add really, really modern chat features into Eve, Caleb?
I think they should go with what all other games do, and then give us more control of what we want to see and how we see it, just like we have in other games. And then fix the scanner, fix the proximity, so close range scanner, and make a deep space long range scanner, so we can actually start using scanner play. And then the active scan, just like I think it was Spoke that talked about this, that active scanning becomes way more like active pinging and sonar stuff in submarines. So when you are active scanning, you will relay a lot more information of your actual location and who you are. So this thing becomes an integral part of the gameplay instead of these antiquated, stupid old systems we have.
So we double down on the submarine gameplay, we double down on the realistic submarine gameplay.
So that kind of sense,
because in that kind of sense, and very much sort of like following the whole sort of like Hunt for Red October style thing, like. Would you want to see proximity voice chat added into Eve?
We need as soon as you're within two light years,
they disappeared, but I can still hear them singing.
Yeah,
exactly.
We need death echoes. So when you wipe with bombs an entire fleet of bees, you can hear the echoes of the R chain just reverberating in space.
I want
the R chain slowly disappearing.
I now want a ship skin that looks like the up periscope.
You have to go Yellow Submarine, Eric. That's your age.
So two things happen if we have like proximity voice chat in Eve. One is grouped R chains flying about, like obviously from goons. But the other one is obviously we're having people like constantly go around and rickroll people, like literally just run around, pumping Rick Astley through in proxy.
That would be a feature.
I would never do that.
There's definitely ways to solve that though. If you look at other games with proximity chat, you are actually not allowed to just stream music through your microphone for an excessive amount of time.
And there is always the capacity for you to like literally like you do with regular chat, like mute people or mute individuals or mute people based on their corporation or their alliance, like entirely, like
So it's also if you think about it, right? If we got CCP to focus on something like this, so we created a lot more gameplay and features around, call it the sub hunter like gameplay, like what's your actual scanning ranges, what's your deep space scanning range, what's your local scanning range, what's your scanning strength, is it specialized in specific types of signatures, so you could basically cloak your ship but not necessarily to all types of signatures. All of this could become massively entertaining gameplay, but right now they've just left things hanging in 2005.
Oh God! You just gave me a brainwave there.
I just want to say, all right, Fleet, everyone decloak, put up your scanner, one ping only.
Exactly, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Vasily.
But you know what?
I would say I don't think it should be ship based. It should be structure.
It's easy, guys.
I don't know. I really like the idea of somebody cloaked just going, "Hello there."
Right. I mean,
No.
Like,
okay, have an option to do it with a ship if you're going around hunting, but as the defensive side, put a structure up that gives you the option of rapid scans of the system that identify people who have jumped in, or a module that basically scans down signatures in system.
Yeah, by the way, that makes Sov matter. But I'm going to tell you, you already have proximity alert. It's called local, and you don't know who they are. Hold on. You don't know who they are. You don't know what they're in until you scan them. Okay, so
well, you do know who they are, but you just don't know what they're in.
You're reinventing something that's already there.
Well,
and by the way, if you're ratting in a system, you've got somebody on the other side of the gate, and every gate in the adjacent systems, and they're already relaying intel over your comms. Okay.
Well, I think the issue at this point in time
is
that
you are all missing half the story here because I haven't told you about this yet.
Because
this
breaking news.
This actually becomes way more broken than you think it is, right?
Yeah.
It's not just the chat system on Tranquility that's broken. It is now also broken on Thunderdome. And currently, teams are training for the Alliance tournament. And you know how you do the countdown for the matches? In local. So
the thing is,
now teams are faced with, hey, we're training with our partner. How the fuck do we do a countdown without local?
Yeah.
Synchronized watches.
Yeah. But there's one thing even worse off. It's not even just local that's gone. All chat is gone at this point.
Yes.
So Fleet and Corp and Alliance are gone.
You know this is a compounding issue, right? Because the issue is like EVE Online, like the probably the most important part of EVE Online is like the feeling of togetherness and the feeling of like a group, feeling of like being involved and being part of a group. And from a gameplay perspective and from EVE Online's perspective, that is predominantly a function of being able to chat with each other in corporation chat, in alliance chat, in the various different custom chat channels that you create, right? So there's people out there that are literally looking at the like literally looking around and kind of like wondering if
It's weird.
they're friends and if they're the people that they play with are even logged in, and they don't know whether people aren't logging in anymore or anything like that because they don't see it in chat. Like they can try and chat in chat.
I'm going to leave this.
It's just
leave my comments in this segment on two things. Last time this shit didn't work, what happened?
The game almost died.
People stopped logging in. Okay,
there was a sharp dip. Yeah.
So the fact that it's not working and not intended for X, Y, and Z. Just shut the fuck up, CCP, and get it working, okay?
Yeah.
And if by the way, if it's been down for 3 days, that's too fucking long, okay?
I mean, it's more than 3 days now.
Especially because of what McLeod was trying to point out. The joke has always been that EVE Online is the best skinned chat client and the best skinned Excel worksheet ever. That's what this game is. That's its USP.
I mean, it can't be you don't get the experience of an MMO unless you can actually converse with people and talk to people. Like it's just
by the way, like when people would jump in the local and they were bad guys, you would chat with them sometimes. Sometimes it was fun.
Yeah. Whether it's chatting shit in local, or whether it's literally asking somebody like 1v1 at the sun, let's go. Like,
it's definitely chatting shit.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, by the way, if you have a bug like this that is a critical system as your chat system, and it's been down for longer than 24 hours, you guys should be on a 24/7 chat line fixing the shit. And if you're not
that's
CCP, no, you use other things like bridge lines and all that stuff.
I know. You
Trust
use things
me,
like
I've been in all of them, right? And I know where this escalation goes, right? If this isn't a Sev1, P0, whatever the fuck you want to call it, all hands on deck to fix it. What are you doing, CCP? Why are we paying you?
The issue I want to raise is, and I think this plays it. This plays into your joke, Mac. This plays into your joke, Mac, right? Of maybe the system they use to do whatever and sort it is down. If DScan isn't working and all the local chats aren't working, DScan shouldn't be tied to local chat. Are we sure this is a chat issue and not something deeper in the system where the game's not registering players being online?
We don't know. That's the thing.
Whereas, if that's the case, does that mean if I then try to kill a ship, it's not going to register damage and kills properly?
Who knows? We have no idea. And speculating wildly on why a bug happens or not, right?
The only way that we can know for sure is to do it and see if it performs the function as we expect it to, and if it doesn't, to inform CCP, right? And if informing CCP decides to fling that particular kind of thing over to GM Goat, for him to make another ludicrously dumb kind of fail. Then that's just that. I guess that's just how CCP wants to play it. But you can meet us halfway. You can kind of actually, the strange thing is like CCP seems to sort of like at least some aspect of CCP wants to treat us like fucking idiots.
You see, the thing is, it's not even the only game dev company that I've seen it like this week. Anyone heard of what's going on in the War Thunder community?
Oh, Jesus Christ, War Thunder. Let's not go to War Thunder.
By the way, McNair,
they're being just as bad.
Yeah, by the way, McNair, we do not do reruns. We are live all the time. It's always,
there is still issues.
Actually, the 11:30 show is always different from the 8:30 show.
This is I am actually pre-recorded from Christmas. So
no, you're an AI.
Yeah, he's just a soundboard.
Horrendous AI.
That's right.
Right.
To be fair, Discord does have soundboards now. So.
I know. I want to use it.
I want to bring this around though to
Eric, if I were an AI, I would be chat F you all.
Skynet is nice compared to horrendous AI.
I want to bring this around though to saying something nice about CCP, which we actually can do this week.
Yes, we can do. We are capable of doing both.
Yeah, because the only team in CCP who is consistently delivering shit is the art team, and the art team has actually put out a dev blog with some nice details for what's coming in the next expansion.
Hey, by the way, title change on the show real quick. Verbal. Really? CCP art team, consistently consistent. Thank you. Thank you, art team. You are amazing. Chef Kiss, whatever the fuck they do.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Love it. Oh, that's awesome. Who did that?
There we go.
I was looking through the soundboard and I went, there's a golf clap. I got it.
That was fantastic.
That's a fantastic. That was good. That was good.
You need to do more of that. That's awesome.
Thing is, I got to be subscribed to Nitro to use stuff from other servers, and I'm looking at ones.
Why are you not this? Why are you not?
I got rid of Nitro ages ago. I don't know why, but basically,
it's idiotic of you.
I'm in the EVE Online Discord server, and there's all the hull and shield and armor alerts, and now I'm thinking back, going, that would have been great for when we were doing like proximity alerts.
I think every time a fleet kills an enemy ship, there should be a push notification and sound to everybody in system that is the golf clap.
Oh God! Oh God!
Are you sure you want us to go to red alert? It does require changing the bulb.
I hate you so much right now.
You see, there's even one there for the drums. And I was so tempted to click it, but no.
I just really would
do
like.
Whatever you want.
I would really like a CCP to come on and explain to us why we ever outsourced chat in the first place. That stuff was
supposed to take.
Why did you change it?
Hold on.
It was supposed to take the load off the servers and make it easier for them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
It has just completely fucked it all up. Though.
So they outsource it. They put it in the cloud. There's two different things, right? Yeah. But of course, they picked the most. Hold on. They picked the most expensive cloud that charges you for data in and data out.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, but this is just part of the course with CCP. You even look at their tech decisions, and they pick the most expensive options.
You can't really blame the provider, though. It's not AWS which is down.
Well,
it is
let's not use
words. Code that's fucking up.
Maybe.
Well,
maybe it depends.
CCP are trying to say it's an AWS issue.
I'm sorry.
Let's not
Eric.
say AWS. No more.
Eric, you've said let's not use words. So I'm going to honor that response and make a clear and concise counter argument to Soph. Soph? No words.
Are we watching Galaxy Quest?
I got something for it as well.
This is Galaxy Quest edition.
God.
No. Think about this, guys. One of the things in cloud, right? All clouds do this. So, I mean, I don't want to pick on a particular cloud. We're just not going to say their name. There are things that you leverage when you're developing code called services, cloud services, that can be down.
So we're not saying the name Eric's Boss Web Services?
No, we're not saying that either. Okay. No, I mean,
not until we get sponsored.
All clouds, doesn't matter. I don't care who you are. You're a cloud provider and you're providing a service. You can have a service go down.
Sure.
That then impacts your clients. And if your client's code's built on that service, it's not their code that's wrong. It's the service. In this case, we don't know. I doubt it's.
But generally, if you're a successful cloud provider, generally you have a fair amount of redundancy built in.
Yeah, and
but when you
can fix an issue that is on your kind of service, like within a week.
If it was a service, that would be back in hours, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's something
easily within a week,
right? Yeah. Or something was upgraded, wasn't compatible, whatever. But I mean, in the cloud, there's all kinds of things. You can replicate between regions. You can do all kinds of things. You just push a button, and whammo, you're in a region that doesn't have the problem.
It's mostly water vapor that's in the cloud.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Sal.
And privatizing anything related to water is such a good idea.
Yeah. Yep. And yep. How much redundancy? Certainly a financial decision, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But
And
pissing off your customers
Also,
because
a
you done
financial
fucked
decision.
up isn't a good thing.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. If AWS was the problem with one of their own
particular cloud names, don't say it.
Okay,
You know,
if a cloud provider was the problem here, and you correcting me is actually fair because this would stand for any cloud provider. If they were the problem, we'd have heard about this on the news, or at least within the tech news.
There would have been other providers or other issues in other games and other IPs and other kind of
I'm just going to point out
people would have had an issue that this would have hit, say, I don't know, Tech Power Up or someone like that AWS or Oracle or Azure are having issues.
Azure, Google, they all get a cloud, right?
I mean, there's.
But Mac, you of all people would agree with me. There's been a secret report in existence for 20 years about the downside of outsourcing essential infrastructure. I think this applies to something like this.
Yeah,
I mean, the UK is very much a point in case as to what not to do when outsourcing fundamental aspects of your your
infrastructure,
your infrastructure to services.
I just want to point out to you there, Caleb. You are arguing for CCP to have their infrastructure in the UK, right? I would say that's not the better option.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But it's just funny, right? Because anyone that's actually ever been in, say, a company of a certain size, know that at some point the C-level idiots will sit down and get some advice saying, let's outsource our cleaning crews or our IT department, and then lo and behold, the quality that they end up with is so below par and so much more expensive than you sit there and you grab your head thinking, who came up with this idea? Well, in hospitals, it's even more fun because when you go below par cleaning, then you get things like MRSA and all that stuff. It's great. You literally make it more dangerous to be in a hospital than at home.
Caleb, isn't it always like, isn't it always tech bros that, come up with these dumb ideas?
Well, not always.
By the way, let's be very specific. It's CIO magazine, okay? They make shit up. CIOs believe it, and then they want to implement it.
Yeah.
Sorry, CIO magazine, but I don't have a subscription anymore.
You mean stuff like agile development?
Oh, that's lovely. I love it.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, CCP has been an adopter of agile development for a long period of time now.
A lot of companies
isn't that what they were running when basically everything collapsed?
Yeah, actually, that'd be an interesting kind of thing. Like, chart the sort of like the adoption of agile development in CCP to sort of like
working on like clumsy development.
See, no. I think we actually found the reason why chat is still broken. They are in the middle of a sprint, so that's why they can't focus on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, blowfish! Wow, we got all the sound effects now.
By the way, I've been wanting sound effects on this show for fucking years. So, Barghost, you get co-host of the week award. Thank you very much.
I do apologise, Sof. I did fire it off a little too early. I'm playing War Thunder in the background, and I was in a dogfight, so I had to take the shot.
So is Barghost now the equivalent of the band in late night talk shows?
I'm currently coding, so.
By the way,
I want to address heretical coffee in chat because he says chat is definitely not an essential service in Eve.
It very much is.
I would highly disagree. This is an MMO. Chat needs to work in an MMO.
If EVE Online to you is like, log in, go and do some level 4 missions, rebuy the stuff that like you used and then log back out again, then chat is probably not an essential thing for EVE Online for you. But for the majority of people who play EVE Online, it's a social simulator. It's where you go to talk to your friends, where you go to coordinate with your friends, which requires chatting. Like Discord does work fine, but sometimes
yeah, but
you
that's
don't.
the thing. CCP always gets mad at people going to third-party services to do chatting, right? So then keep your first-party shit working. Come on.
Yeah.
Also, there's no
Is
discoverability.
chat an essential service?
By the way,
when you ask the question,
I could agree.
Is chat an essential service for EVE?
if it's
Like
I said,
Discord is a destination for people who already know where they're going. Like there's no discoverability to in most sort of kind of frames, like for Discord. Like one of the nice things about like going from system to system in EVE Online is you're discovering new people, and you can potentially communicate with those new people and kill them and stuff like that. Yeah, but like you can have that unique conversation with a new person that you've never met before, right?
It's a lot simpler than that, though. Like,
but what I'm saying is like that generally doesn't happen in Discord, because most Discords that you're in because those Discords are Discords that you have with friends, right?
If you're trying to figure out if chat is an essential core service for EVE, they turned it off in nullsec and dropped 30% of the player base.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty essential to me.
Yeah. So
there are going to be niche use cases. There are going to be niche use cases where you can play perfectly fine, sure, but even worse than Blackout this time, it's not. Right, heretical. Yes, wormhole. Hold on, soft. Hold on. Wormholes do thrive without local. We're not just talking about local this time. They have killed local, corp, alliance, fleet, pretty much every other chat out there.
And
they've killed
D-Scan. D-Scan now,
yeah. It's bad.
And the thing is, we got to remember that yes, wormholes work without local, but they are designed to work without local.
Yes.
Yeah. People go into wormholes expecting,
and they do actually
local
have
to not work.
People just don't use it.
Heretical D-Scan has been breaking for people over the last 3 days.
Yeah.
Basically, 2 people were scanning someone in a system. One could find them, one could not with a D-Scan. Then they tried it properly with a third friend involved. They had the same issue, and they were literally sat on top of him. So it wasn't even like ranges. It was he is literally not showing up.
Yeah.
It really smells like it's a session ID issue
and
somewhere,
and
not
in a combat recon.
And I'll have you know that like the most egregious thing about this local like outage issue is the fact that like all of that ISK doubling services that you get, like you can't double your ISK. You can't double your ISK anymore. Like, I mean, come on. Like, how are we meant to make money?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I would agree.
Let me reframe this from a non-player perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is real world because Eric might get these phone calls, right? So you have a piece of software and some sort of feature functionality, and in this case, multiple features, multiple functionalities are broken. Okay? You have an internal ticketing system with a severity level. Okay? We pay so you keep this shit running. Okay? CCP. Understand, we're the fucking customer. And it should work. And if your software is broken for over a freaking week, by the way, something like this should be fixed in 24 hours max. Okay? Bottom line. Because it's not my first rodeo. I grew up in this environment. Okay? And by the way, if it's a vendor problem, okay, your executives are screaming at the vendor's executives to get the right people on the phone to get shit done. Because that's how it works in the real world, everyone. Okay? So if they aren't focusing on this 24/7 with rotating staff, CCP isn't doing their job.
from a business perspective, right? Like, and we're looking at this, like, at least specifically right now, we're looking at this in a business perspective, right? Like, you've had a previous situation, you know, when blackout occurred, right? When that particular period occurred, and you can look back at the data that you got, like, from that, to see the effect of what this happens on, you know, your online numbers, or on the sort of, like, you know, the continued sort of popularity and the amount of concurrent users, as well as daily users, monthly users, that kind of stuff, right? DAUs, MAUs, like that kind of thing. And like, if you go back and look at that data, you will know that because of the outage that happened prior, you know, you lost subscribers, right? You lost subscribers, and some of those subscribers you lost, like, entirely. They're not subscribing anymore. They've walked away from the game. They're doing something different. They're playing something different. They're in, you know, sometimes even entire sort of, like, you know, friend groups have disappeared because of it, right? So this should be a scenario that makes you go, shit, we need to get this solved, like, now, like, or get solved yesterday, because it will affect, you know, if you take your bottom line.
If you take it back to what Erik was trying to point out, right? If we can agree that in a massive multiplayer game, being able to socialize is an essential. That means that if this is not available and stable, you are not providing a key service. That means that we're all the way back to GM GOAT. We all need reimbursement from when this shit started not working until now. We need actual Plex reimbursement time for this, because this is not the service we're paying for. So everyone should actually be reimbursed right now.
I'm going to say something along those lines, but to top it off, there needs to be communication. What I have seen from CCP is dog shit.
Yeah,
right?
but
okay, they've put something on the forums and they put something on the launcher that, yeah, we're having some issues. Where's their communication about, we have a theory of what this is, it's taken us some time to fix, we'll keep you updated more often. You know, like, where's their deeper communication on this?
I can tell you, there's a real simple explanation for this. The chat system is broken.
They can't talk to us because they can't use the chat system.
Yeah.
Like, I'm honestly gonna throw
you know
something
what
out
this
here.
reminds me of is, like, you know, the you know, when like in sci-fi, when, like, you know, there's like a fight and like clearly the captain goes, damage report, right? It's like, well, what if the damage report computer is damaged? Like, you don't get the damage report. Like, this is the same thing. It's like oh, local's down, the communication's down. Right, well, how do we know this? Well, we don't, because the communication computer is down as well.
I'm going to address Eden Trade. Yes, their greatest weakness is communication, and when have they ever communicated well? But
actually, when
normally
CCP
they at least
Guard
try.
was around, they communicated much better.
But not just that, but they at least tried. I mean, all we've seen for this is the forums, a few little updates, and I haven't looked in the last couple of days, so I don't know when the last post was. I ought to go look, because maybe they've added some more. Maybe they've gone completely silent, because it feels like they've gone silent.
You mean the last post in the intermittent chat issues thread?
Yes.
The last update to the top post was on the 17th, when they said it's been 48 hours since the updates were implemented and chat continues to be stable.
3 days ago. And it's been having issues since.
I'm currently going through it again.
Are they...
You see what I mean?
Hold on. Is this the time of year where they all fucking... Hold it.
Are they
is this the time of year where they all go fucking shaving sheep and they're not around? What the fuck is happening next?
Are they going to roll out... I'm just...
Hang on a second.
Okay.
This is an interesting point here, because it gets raised in this discussion about the intermittent chat issues. A CSM member suggested that if, you know, there was an issue with seeing who was in system and local, you should check the DScan button.
Isn't that not working?
I believe I know exactly who that was that suggested that horrendous. They also suggested it on Reddit, I believe, and got massively downvoted after it was pointed out to them that DScan is dead.
Yeah,
And they're on in
DScan
2
has an
hours.
issue. Oh, fantastic. What did...
should I let him know that DScan is dead?
I think he knows by how much Reddit went off on him.
I was yelling at him 10 minutes ago.
I have to wonder, right? I have to wonder, like, I have to wonder.
For the record, it was
all
not
of this
Brisk.
I have to wonder.
No, I was yelling at Mark.
Okay.
Oh, you see, I'd
around.
seen Brisk get some downvotes, but he was trying to be decent, but people are pissed off and they were not having it.
It's the bottom line, right? Fucking feature isn't available that people use and expect when they're playing the game that they pay for. Provide some support, CZP, and get your ass on and get it fixed. 3 days, too long.
It's more than 3, Eric.
I know, I'm just saying.
We're at 3 days since their last update, which was 48 hours after it started.
I understand.
Although no, it wasn't when it started, because their first update, horrendous, was like 48 hours after it started, wasn't it? So we're talking nearly a week.
Their first update was on the 12th.
So 8 days ago.
Right.
Okay, so maybe, that's fair.
And the thread itself was opened on the 11th.
Yeah. So we're talking a week and a bit at this point.
Yeah.
Like
I'm saying, you know,
point...
I've seen problems last longer that weren't actually causing an issue that had a workaround. Right.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about
because it's not a critical error.
You know, hey, you know, some table won't automatically index when it's partitioned. Okay. In a database, right? But you can go in and
I can go in and do it.
The automated partitioning isn't working. Right? Okay, you have a workaround.
Yeah.
Not going to kill you, right?
Yeah, this isn't a, you know, some textures are misaligned, game is unplayable moment.
And
I love
Starscream has made the point we made earlier, but also this ties into something I've been thinking, and now that we're at 8 or 9 days since the first forum post, you know, we're going on a week and a half of issues. At what point does issues happening around the 20th anniversary that supposedly have been fixed but haven't and keep not being fixed, what point does that get considered that maybe they're doing something that they're just not telling us? Blackout 2? But they just don't have the balls to say it aloud?
No, it's probably back end stuff. If they're doing anything that's causing this, it's probably back end stuff for the Viridian update that shouldn't be doing this, but pause code.
Yeah, I could see that, but at the same time, I am thinking I wouldn't put it past Hilmar to try something like Blackout 2 without having the balls to say it aloud.
I would definitely say Hilmar is not doing Blackout 2. First off, it's too intermittent and not at all consistent.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like
right, but that's what would deflect from it.
And secondly, he's busy with his
and he's busy with his new project that's all about the block code.
You know,
that's something we need to talk about.
But that brings
good old
right?
blockchain technology.
That's right.
That's something we definitely don't want to talk about.
I don't want to talk about it, but we might have to talk about it. I don't know.
Think,
but like,
think about this.
I do want to talk about. I have a segue to talk about a different thing. But
you
like,
guys hear me?
You know.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
Just ignoring you.
Not at all.
All right. So
everybody else, shut up because you're ruining the fucking joke.
What does CCP have a history of doing?
Nothing.
Moving devs
the wrong things?
Nope. Moving devs from one project to a different project and ignoring it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And that's called agile development, isn't it?
I'm going to speculate. You know, Hilmar grabbing devs. And now we have less people to manage it.
Remember, the new game's development will not impact Eve's development at all, as we're taking devs from the
fucking lies all the time.
Horrendous.
I feel like that should be a Baghdad Bob moment.
No. We're just gonna do the sensible thing and just assume the exact opposite of what Hilma is saying.
It's probably a good way of doing it.
So they're working on an old game that doesn't use blockchain.
Yes,
And this will impact Eve's development.
Yes.
Yeah, they're resurrecting.
They're bringing back Dust.
And let's be
but
honest,
only on the PS3.
Let's be honest. That's probably closer to the truth than what Hilma said.
So, God damn it. I was going to say, with your quotes there, Arandis, from what I've heard, and this is second-hand, someone else who regularly speaks to devs, that entire PR statement is bullshit, and significant numbers of devs may well have been grabbed.
They always do. Whenever a corporation needs devs on something critical to make money, they transfer them all the time.
Yeah. Look, when he said it wasn't going to impact Eve development, okay, what that meant is it would have no strategic impact on Eve's development, and like it wouldn't be saying, yeah, we're going to change what we're doing with Eve. That is what he meant. They are not changing anything they planned for Eve. They are not going in a new direction with Eve. The fact that they're completely gimping the Eve team while they throw resources at this new game that won't actually make them any money ever, that is, totally a side effect.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically a Viridian is far enough along that it's almost pretty much done. After that, we haven't told you enough for you to know what our development pipeline is anyway, so you can't tell if it's affecting it.
Yeah, Rudolph Montgomery. What is it? The vampire game. They moved all the devs off the Worlds of Darkness. They moved them to work on Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To work on walking in stations.
Yeah, that went well. That went well.
You're not going to
They even made a video about it, right?
I'm not going to let myself be baited by World of Darkness, so yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, they probably had like some decent tech and some decent stuff to eventually show, but like they made such a fucking terrible PR disaster out of that expansion that it essentially killed it. Like, and all of that dev work kind of just got wasted because they were too, butthurt about the fact that they got basically owned by their, their customer base. That they just dumpstered a whole bunch of like dev time on something that could have actually probably been pretty decent at the end of the day. But
when it came out, the Carbon engine was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
It's
right. It also melted video cards, but that's because it hadn't been optimized. It hadn't been.
This day and age, that's fine. This day and age, that's normal.
Wait. It was melting video cards, so it was ahead of its time.
It was.
But I mean, okay, look. Like this is the original demo for the Carbon engine. Okay, I dropped it in staff only.
Oh,
right.
Oh yeah, we can drop it out to the audience. Amazing. Remember?
Right. Yeah, well, go ahead.
Yeah, it's great.
But like, so this is the original. Okay, now, currently Final Fantasy XIV does something on a similar level, right? As far as right now, this is 2010.
Yeah.
So
13 years ago, guys. 13 years ago, they did that.
They did that.
So they were way ahead of themselves.
Look at the way the fabric is moving.
Yep.
Look at the way the hair
moves. The fabric movement is amazing.
And there's one that's missing, the latex suit.
This is sort of like I not quite there, but this is almost like Unreal 5 like kind of stuff.
The thing is though, we don't know how much they picked the actual working ones out, right?
Yeah.
Well, of course,
this could just be the few seconds that the engine is actually behaving, and otherwise it's going everywhere.
Right, except that we did get to see character animation in Eve at first when you still had the captain's quarters.
Yeah.
So we know that at the very least, the animation for the hair worked that well, consistently. Like we never really had anything in the way of flowing clothing at the time, but none of it looks like anything that we didn't see the equivalents of.
Yeah.
But they just never let the engine development get to maturity. They slapped it into Eve early and disastrously, and then that killed everything.
Yeah, they slapped it into it early. Like basically, gave a whole bunch of sort of things of like, oh, this will be coming at this particular point. When it wasn't ready for that, they just gutted it and essentially launched the expansion that they were going to launch, which did really have not much at all, and then kind of said, hey, you could buy all of these like microtransaction stuff, which is like, pants and for your characters that are more money than actual IRL, designer brand like clothing items. And thought that there was not going to be an issue with that in any way, shape, or form. It was essentially, we promised a whole bunch of stuff, didn't deliver, but we expect a whole bunch of money, right? And that was the thing that people reacted.
You're missing the main point. The main point of EVE Online is to socialize, and you were given a fucking isolation rubber cell. You couldn't have even one person in there. I could not even invite one person and interact with them, which is completely ridiculous when you're promising something like walking in stations where we should all be able to walk, and we got
nothing.
A solo cabin. Like, what are you thinking?
We got a wardrobe, and that was it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's all that was. And you expected people to react fine to that. Like, of course they're not going to react fine to that. But like dumpstering all the work that kind of like wasn't quite ready at that particular point. It's just like that's just a waste. Like I know you reprioritize, but like you still keep that stuff going because otherwise it's just how many hundreds or thousands of dev hours just thrown into the bin. Like
So yeah, and Rudolph Montgomery's out there, right? Hilmar's a genius or whatever. I'm going to tell you, everything that Hilmar has thought up in the last couple of years have been an absolute dumpster fire. One of them in particular ended up in 30% of the user base disappearing in days.
There was a like they obviously there's quite often that people say that there's a thin line between genius and crazy.
He's getting very, very, very close to being a stable genius like Elon Musk.
No. Elon Musk actually makes billions of dollars.
I'll let you in on a secret here. Geniuses aren't like omni geniuses. They're normally geniuses in one very small specific area.
Yeah. I mean, let's keep in mind that the intention behind the blackout was the whole Age of Chaos thing.
Oh jeez.
Right?
Don't say
because
that.
he'd read the three body problem and thought that was a great
You're sure it wasn't the Illuminatus trilogy?
No. And the problem is that he read the three body problem and did not take away from it the lesson that is actually applicable to MMOs, which is when the Age of Chaos shows up, the aliens who have the option of, we're just not going to play for a while, didn't play for a while. They just went away.
Yeah.
And they came back after. The people logging into EVE who had the option of going, I just don't want to play for a while because this is bullshit, just stop playing for a while. They went and did something else.
And then they decided not to come back. Yeah, some of them decided not to come back because
that's because they started doing something else.
Exactly. And the other issue with like reading something like reading fiction and going, oh yeah, this will be a great way of implementing into an MMO. The problem with that is the nicety of making fiction is you can choose.
The writer can make anything happen.
The writer can make anything happen. The writer can make, the eventuality that they want to occur. In an MMO, that's not the case. You have to deal with the reality
You're dealing
of
with
what
other
you
people.
started.
You're
and
not
dealing
in control.
Exactly. You're not in control. Like,
it's just a tragedy if you think about it, right? If you consider the head start that CCP has had, and if you consider things like the Carbon engine and all of those things, and then you compare and look at what games are really popular now, CCP should have been succeeding. They should have been growing the player base, not losing players. No Man's Sky is massively popular. Cyberpunk is massively popular. Star Citizen, massively popular. Why is CCP dropping the ball like this? They had like 10, 15 years on all of these titles.
Because it's because those companies are communicating and they're fixing things and they're not basically, like separating and segregating their development into different areas to different places that like aren't reinforcing their core, IP.
And all the experiments they have done, right? When they did them, that should have taught them lessons that they could then use to do something that works instead of leaving things like walking station concepts on the shelf, like leaving first-person shooters and Dust on the shelf. All of these things should have been a teaching moment of what to actually do with new projects and new product development. But instead, they just leave all of them alone. Like, okay, we tried that, it doesn't work. Like, that's not how you expand a business.
The final version of Dust, right? The PS3 is dead version, right? That had actually developed into a fairly decent decent game. All they had to do was say, okay, well, Dust is done, the PS3 is done. We're going to take the existing code base, we're going to file off the dustiness, we're going to name it something else, redo art assets, and just
It's like
on PC.
It's like
drop it
like
on
take
PC
it's like
as a
it's
different
like
game.
It's like take the legal team, right? Run it through the terms and conditions of the contract that you signed with Sony as to what constitutes this thing to be Dust 514 and what you would need to remove for it to not be Dust. And then just rebuild that little bit and then put it onto PC. People would be so much happier. People would not have you would have had a hit.
It's not that easy to port something from the PS3 over to PC.
It's not
no, nobody's saying it's easy, but
it's doable.
It might actually be easier to build a new game from the ground up.
Hold on, have you seen them trying to build a new game from the ground up?
You wouldn't necessarily need to rebuild from the ground up, though.
Yes, I've seen them trying to build a new game from ground up. That's a good point.
But I think you're leaving out all the existing assets, all the existing functionality, and all that requirement. You don't need to go through an entire development process of all of that again. You can reuse most of that.
What you're saying is you don't need the art team, which is the
also the
no.
It's also the concept and the tie-ins and the functionalities and the UI ideas and all of that.
Your core logic structures, your core data structures, you can go ahead and replicate these, even if you have to build them into different different code for interfacing with the hardware.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you could take the old art assets and put it on UE5 if they wanted to. Okay, and then you updo the art over the years slowly and surely, but they could have done something like that. Okay, it would have been UE4 at the time. Yeah.
And also it
realistically, I'm sure if we got our hands on the art assets, we could make a functional tech demo, shall we say?
That'd be so fucking cool as well. Like, yeah.
You sure you can.
Heretical Coffee. I mean, you have no clue what the contract said, and it's very unlikely the IP was shared ownership or the code.
Oh no, there's no way the IP was shared ownership.
Yeah, but that's his line of thought. Why you couldn't do it and why legal? You have no fucking clue what the contract says.
Sony likes doing that though.
But
Bloodborne.
Yeah, but there's no
Oh,
way
no.
there's no way the IP was shared. Was shared ownership, because if the IP was shared ownership, then you'd see issues between Sony and PA now.
But you don't.
And there would have been some settlement going on, and we've heard nothing about anything there.
And historically, there's never been copyright issues with CCP. They have been really hardcore at keeping all copyrights to themselves. When it comes to other deals and contracts and things like exclusivity and all that Sony shit, sure, that's legalese, but the copyrights of the actual properties, the IP itself,
the IP
is completely owned by CCP.
Especially
everything they've ever done is like that.
Especially since if you look at the financials for Perlibis and Perlibis Iceland for the last year, okay? CCP's core purpose is not product development.
Yeah.
It is intellectual property creation.
Yeah.
As far as Perlibis is concerned, they want CCP to continue making something they can sell if they need to. But if the code base itself goes down, meh.
I'm done with heretical coffee, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine. It's always nice when some children are playing smart about this stuff.
I mean, it's not the hill to die on, but he wanted to die on it for some reason. I don't know why.
I was going to say around this, as much as you point out the PA stats for Iceland, the actual CCP ones aren't too bad.
CCP's financials this year made $600,000 because of the value of assets they have in non-US dollars. Otherwise, they ran a loss.
No, that's not CCP's. That's
CCP's
Perlibis's.
Nope, that's CCP's.
Hold on, let me bring these documents back out and reread them because I am pretty sure I read that CCP made a profit.
Yeah, CCP made a profit, but only because of the ancillary considerations.
I make it a rule never to disagree with the renders unless I have documentations in front of me.
That's good
that's
because
why
I got all of my information from Reeve.
Reeve had me looking at
if he's got the information from Reeve, even more so. I just shut up and say, you might be right.
I got the documents from Reeve. I remember reading this.
It's very rare that
Caleb.
It's very rare that you get into a sort of like a debate or a sort of a confrontation with Reeve and end up being the winner. So
my health and my sanity is at stake. Right? My health if I disagree with Reeve, my sanity if I disagree with the renders.
Is she
both if you were to win.
Standing behind you?
Not right now, no. But you could think so.
I'm just saying if your health drops to 0, your sanity is done for. Like take the sanity hit, not the health.
Are we playing Call of Cthulhu now?
So, yes,
no, we are back
CCP...
to World of Darkness.
Got them. Yeah,
CCP. There's no sanity attribute in the World of Darkness.
Just speak.
In some World of Darkness, yes.
Oh, yeah, horrendous. CCP as an entity made 673,000.
Right.
Last year they lost 2.3 million.
Right.
The PA Iceland numbers, though, were the shocker. They were the 70 million loss.
Yeah, that's because PA Iceland is actually structured to lose money.
Yes.
What's PA Iceland though? It's like
PA Iceland is
basically
Perlibis's holding company in Iceland, so that CCP can continue to be an Icelandic corporation.
Yes.
Oh, right, okay.
So everything that they gets shipped out, and they get transferred debt, so they lose money.
Right. Okay. That makes sense then. Yeah.
Basically, tax McFuckery.
Exactly. Cheers, Renders. Cheers, Renders. Cheers, Cheetah. Okay. I wanted I had a segue, but like we've gone so far out, out off and away from the whole local kind of thing that like it just doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, it's.
I don't even know whether I want to use it or
confusing.
not. Like, do I want to use it
Probably
or not? Like,
What?
I'm just thinking that like when all this like local shit is done and dusted, like CCP is probably going to like wheel out the ASUS excuse.
Your warranty's void?
No, not your warranty's void. It's the oh no, we were too busy trying to solve the problem that we forgot about, like, you know, communication.
Solving the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, knowing CCP, probably.
So
dear.
the community, so the community people and all the GMs and everything, they were actually working on writing the code and fixing it.
Probably,
Oh, shit.
probably
Yeah,
knowing
sorry.
CCP.
I mean, that's what ASUS has kind of said with the
Yeah.
whole like fucking, you know, like, oh, you know, we put out a what is it, a BIOS update, and we ran around like trying to fix it that we couldn't be bothered to actually communicate with people.
Yeah.
Like, that's legitimately their excuse.
So I want to go back to a topic I tried bringing up before we sidetracked, which is
oh no,
the VC investor.
Oh no!
The other game, the blockchain.
Oh no, we're going back there.
Right. This isn't my
He's trolling
topic.
you now, Mac.
No, this isn't my topic. I'm bringing it up on behalf of Dirk, A16Z, Anderson Horowitz.
Oh, is this?
I can pronounce that.
Yeah,
The guys
Anderson
who were connected
Horowitz,
to more fucking
Is it they
Shady
put
shit.
40
more
million
fucking shady
into another
shit
game?
and crypto scams than anybody short of like Elmar?
It was the Mecha Fight Club NFT robot game, whatever the hell it was.
Yep.
That has basically just been shit canned, and that's 40 million down the drain. That's the same investors as what are now in on CCP's game.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
The future's looking bright, right?
Something due diligence before you jump into bed with, like, you know, business partners.
What makes
I
you
would
think Elmar
say.
didn't do his due diligence?
Never stick your credit card in crazy.
Because it's Hilmar we're talking about.
You know, I totally understand the sentiment there, but I will point out he keeps making money.
Who? Hilmar?
Oh yeah.
Not necessarily Eve, not necessarily CCP. Hilmar keeps making money.
I mean, is it because he's
So
just is it just because like he's figured out like it's the greater fool scam, isn't it? Like he's just figured out who's the greater fool to scam.
I mean,
and wrote it into contracts.
Eve's a game that in a lot of ways is built on scamming.
They never prevented people scamming.
They openly tell you might get scammed. Maybe Hilmar hangs out in Cheetah all day. Can't prove he doesn't.
He's an ISK doubler.
No. He's not an ISK doubler. He's a real money doubler.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know what? There have legitimately been like scamming where people try and double your, you know, cryptocurrency. Like,
oh yeah.
It's interesting that way. Like, in a weird way, like some aspects of like of interfacing and interacting with people in EVE Online is good for people when it comes to understanding real life, because you get to sort of fake play or fake kind of like a fall for things in EVE Online that could fuck you over in real life, and learn from it in the game, and then when you see it in real life, you're like, I know that fucking scam, and it is a scam. I'm not going to fall for it. Because I've seen it played and done in EVE, and you know it doesn't end in a good time.
Push to Talk does not condone anyone trying to apply EVE scamming in real life.
Actually, no. Or
we do not
I
condemn
don't even
it
like
either.
it in the game.
Yeah, because the scams in EVE are usually more complicated than they are in real life.
It's a lot of work.
So if someone says to you that they can find you a much better life over here in England, and you should just get on a boat, it might be a recruitment scam.
No,
Massive
definitely
one.
is.
Especially
Massive one. Do not get on the small boats. Do not get on the small boats.
Especially if they want $500 million ISK.
To get on the boat.
If they refer to it in ISK and then suddenly delete or amend the comment into real money, then
If you value your cheese sandwiches, do not get on the small boats.
That's right. Stay in Georgia. And eat the pimento cheese sandwiches.
Yes.
Which, you know what? I got to check and make sure my pimento cheese is still good because I want a pimento cheese sandwich for dinner.
See, there we go. There's the segue into the food section. There's
wow,
the
all I was going to say.
Bourgeoisie shit.
Check that shit
we got 20 minutes left.
The American waving his big fat cheese sandwich in the Britfag's face, wow.
That's harsh, man.
That's harsh.
I'm going to Waffle House because Waffle House are my people.
Can't leave some dead air. You had to play something.
Well, we're trying to compute the whole Waffle House thing. It's some concept from the 70s. Most people in here don't actually remember it.
So you have a restaurant where they only serve a single dish.
No, they don't. Didn't you watch the video I posted the other day?
Waffle House is
they have lots of things.
They literally will make almost anything that you want
with waffles.
And by the way, the severity of a hurricane in any given area by the fact of how long Waffle House stays closed, because they're the last to close and the first to open.
Or IHOP, depending on the area.
I don't know if
IHOP's doing the same thing these days, yeah.
I don't really like IHOP. I always get sick when I eat there.
Well, that's because it's just too international for you.
But the international
too much weird food.
I just want to know one thing, Eric. Is there miniskirts and roller skates? Otherwise, I'm not going.
Oh, then when you come to the United States, I'll take you to Hooters. There's no roller skates, and there's no
miniskirts.
But
it's
Eric,
shorts.
Eric, what about goth IHOP?
No.
What,
no. By the way, so on YouTube,
is there a thing?
On YouTube, there's two British dudes, and I think their YouTube thing is called Jolly, and they have toured the United States. They've gone to Texas, they've eaten barbecue, they're eating Waffle House. They go everywhere and eat everything, and it's fun to watch them.
Speaking of food section, I experienced something really funny this past week. I stumbled upon something that I did not know existed, where military personnel exchange their unit ration stuff and try it. So that is the funniest shit I've ever seen, where you have Italians with their huge expensive box ration exchanging it with Lithuanians and stuff. This is amazing, and it was all under the NATO YouTube channel. This is just too cool. I did not know that there was this entire section of the internet that did analysis and pricing and caloric counting of military rations. This is a whole new world. It's amazing.
I saw an Italian exchanging, and they gave the American their box, and it's heavy and bulky and all this stuff, right? And the American said, here's pizza. It's like a cracker, and it's in this little MREs are little and light.
It's just such a cool concept. The whole thing, and there was one episode I watched that was even more evil. It was parents with their kids. So I think 5 to 7 year olds, where the kids had to try the rations from their veteran parents. And the really funny thing was that it ended on the most hilarious but tragic note where this one kid said, "I would wish that we could have food like this in school."
Jesus Christ!
Wow.
There are
Burn. That's like
That is
a
a
massive fucking burn.
I gotta ask now, was that an American or a British kid?
Well, I think both would apply.
Yeah. Both
I've
would
seen the
apply.
school foods for both. It's like horrible.
They're horrible, yeah.
So what we need is Norway to start sending their rations because they seem to be winning. They're the best rations you can actually get in the military. We need to get them to actually send their rations to schools in the UK and the US.
I mean, most of the German ones are okay as well.
Oh yeah, most of them are generally okay, but they're really high.
I've had them.
But they scored highest on all the tests that I saw, which was funny.
I think they'd score pretty high if they included Sothrasill's wine soup.
Hey, wine soup is awesome, okay? Don't shit talk my wine soup.
No, I'm not shit talking wine soup. If anything, I'm saying wine soup sounds absolutely awesome.
It is absolutely awesome, and you guys need to come over here so I can cook it for you.
Hell yeah. You're fucking awesome. And yes, this isn't some kind of weird in joke or anything like that. There is literally a thing called wine soup.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is a sweet soup made with red wine, and you eat it with ham because sweet and salty works really well together.
Mm.
Really?
Yes, really.
It was just the way that you initially, yesterday, sort of, just offered that up to the conversation at the time. It was like, wait, wine soup? What the fuck?
I was really surprised that I could actually find a recipe for the other German in the channel yesterday, because there was another German in this conversation yesterday, and he didn't have a clue what wine soup is, because it's a very regional thing.
And let's not even go into the amount of regional sausage variations that you have in Germany. Jesus Christ.
Sausage is very serious business in Germany.
Let's have Erik guess. Erik, what do you think? How many variations of sausage are there in Germany?
486.
How many
You're
Germans
not even
are there?
close.
You went there, horrendous.
I'm sorry, what did Horrendous say? I missed that.
How many Germans are there?
About 81 million, I think.
That's like
Well,
five.
The amount of sausages.
About 83 million varieties of sausage.
Yeah, but only half of them are male.
That's okay. That doesn't mean the other half don't have their own recipes that they'd like to try.
I feel like we're sidling up to a certain conversation here. I'm surprised Caleb hasn't said something.
I mean, did you see the side conversation in staff?
Oh shit, I missed that. But
Well, Arendis was showing us how pancakes are served.
ah, right, okay. So right, okay, yeah, Goth high up. Sign me up for that.
Yeah, yes, and then look what I mentioned under that. Because I'm not going to link a picture for that.
No. No. I actually like the food and the service at Hooters.
Of course you like the service at Hooters.
No, you don't understand the comment.
Oh dear.
You can go in there and you can watch sports. And
you only watch.
Hold on.
You only watch sports for the intro and the break time, right?
No, and you order a pitcher of beer. You will never have to pour that pitcher into your beer glass. There will be a waitress that comes over. Do you need anything? Nope. And they will just top off your beer. Beautiful.
I mean, that should happen that happens in restaurant. It should happen in all restaurants. So.
It doesn't.
Or maybe for wine, it definitely does. Like maybe open pitchers of beer potentially, but if it's just like individual bottles, yeah. Like...
See, I saw a comment the other day of people like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have shows of Americans coming to like Europe and other countries and like experiencing how like restaurants are over here. We should have Europeans on US shows going to the US and like showing the Americans the reactions of Europeans at your restaurants, right?
We do have that.
There are some YouTube clips definitely, but
There are
like
a whole
I
bunch.
think they should definitely be expanded upon.
Britain's eating biscuits and gravy for the first time. Britain's
but no,
eating
it's more,
Texas barbecue
it's
for
not,
the first time.
I'm not talking about them reacting to the food. I'm talking about them reacting to like everything around it, right? The service, for example. Like in Germany, if the waiter comes to your table every 5 minutes to ask if everything is okay, you're gonna scream at that fucking waiter because that's annoying as fuck.
Yep.
They're not gonna do that here.
Yet another way to call John. Fantastic. That sort of thing.
I think we should plan our next meet in Germany and make sure that it hits in October.
No.
Our next meet is already planned.
Yes, I'm saying the one after that should be October.
The one after
that one's also
already
planned
as well.
And there's already some planning probably going on for the one after that.
I'm not going to say anything here.
For fuck's sakes.
There might be.
Is it Finland?
No, it's not Finland.
Oh, good God. I can just imagine if we went to Finland, Dirk could walk into the bar and it'd be the same person he's just met last night.
Probably, yeah.
Like 2 years later, I recognise you.
You know we're gonna like pick on him for that for years.
Oh yeah, of course we are. Of course we are.
Oh dear.
That's probably why he's so mad about it because he knows as well.
Yep.
Oh Jesus. If you weren't here at the start of the show, like, you know, we discussed this, like, to some degree, of somebody basically commenting about Dirk and his appearance and his, you know, clearly his clear Viking jeans, which is a company that we're going to be selling, you know, jeans, clearly. Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. Well, I mean, if we're already 10 minutes, we're 10 minutes away, so we might as well do, like, you know, one last things, right? We might as well do one last things.
Yeah.
Because we've got one last things, we also got some shout outs as well to do, so.
All right.
Yeah. Top down, maybe?
I got one last thing that you guys might want to say something about.
I mean, that's why we're starting early, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, we haven't really talked about the dev blog the art team put out and what was actually in it.
Oh, good point.
I'm pretty sure you guys saw the trailer, and I gotta say the animations do look sick as fuck, right?
Oh yeah,
they always do.
Yeah, because the art team always
the art
delivers.
team just always, yeah.
So if you didn't know what was actually covered in that, essentially there was a bunch of like VFX kind of like improvements, right? There a lot of the sort of like frigates. I think. Was it just T1 frigates at this point? Like, there's a bunch of frigates that
every
T1
frigate except the Rifter because it already was upgraded.
Yeah, so every T1 frigate got a sort of like a VFX pass. Some people kind of said that like it's basically just, you know, you can kind of summarize it as more lights, which, you know, to be fair, it does make it look better. So, you know, and you know, it does look pretty decent. There was also an upgrade to missile explosions.
Those look sick as fuck.
Those look really good. They showcased some of the sort of like smaller sort of missiles, but apparently the explosions and the the visual flair of those explosions really do ramp up when you get to large missiles, like say, a levy.
And you can now tell from the visuals what kind of damage the missile is dealing.
Yeah, it's
So the
really
explosion
cool.
is colored?
Yes.
Colored and
Not-
has
not
a
only
specific
colored-
effect to it.
Yeah, exactly. Like EM, for example, looks like
Has a static discharge through it?
Yeah,
exactly.
lightning
And then
instead of
thermal
shit.
is like a sun.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the kinetic one's gonna do. Like,
It's like a shockwave.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool, that's awesome. Like old school torpedoes.
Yeah.
Oh, done.
Fuck yeah, that's fantastic.
I mean, people were asking a bomb's going to get them, and they kind of hinted they might, which would be cool.
That'd be
That
cool.
would be cool.
Like-
Honestly, when you and I've experienced this when trying to like cover like breaking news in Eve and stuff like that, like when big fights and stuff, is when bombs go off, like they don't really have that like visual flair that really goes with the sort of like the devastation that occurs.
Yeah.
Like you really want to ramp that up because like when I like turn brackets off entirely or just turn the sort of like the entirety of like the UI off for that kind of like cool visual fidelity, like I can miss a bomb run really easily because like the explosions just aren't really that, they don't look huge or impactful visually. Like they do really need to be ramped up.
Yeah.
The last thing they showed off was new animations for the Marauders when they go into Bastion.
They looked sick.
Yeah, they are transforming into like a whole new ship now when they go into Bastion. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think the sort of like the animations are still sort of like I think they ramped it up. I think they added a bit to the animations, but they really ramped up the lighting and visual effects of it.
Yeah.
Like it looks really fucking cool now.
Like especially the golem. Like the golem is my favorite one effect wise.
I'm kind of a fan of the Kronos, to be fair.
Yeah, the Kronos is also cool, but the golem is just it's just such a punchy effect, right?
Yeah, it does look really fucking awesome. But yeah, you guys should definitely check that out for sure. See if I can find the link to the video. But other than that, like Horrendous, do you wanna start off with like you have any like one last thing, anything that we haven't discussed that you wanted to talk about real quick, or
It's linked in
shout
chat.
outs or anything? Nice. Thanks for that.
We need Goth IHOP livery in Eve.
I must agree.
There you go.
More goth IHOP in EVE Online.
Damn
And
right.
in real life.
Yeah. Okay. I could roll with that for sure. Jesus Christ. Oh. Okay, Bard Ghost.
I love how King Wolf mentioned Femboy Hooters and
Yeah,
it's
that's
the
good.
Hooters that gets
What was it, Mac?
One last thing. Anything you wanted to chat about? Aside from,
Soundboard.
erroring.
Yep. Oh, don't worry. I finally got Nitro again. I've just been adding a bunch to my own personal servers.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I have weapons. In all seriousness, I don't know who's worse this week, CCP or Gaijin for War Thunder. One seems to just not communicate. The other is communicating but is completely out of touch and insulting their fans. I don't know which I'd rather take.
So War Thunder isn't communicating?
No. War Thunder's communicating but insulting their players by telling them that we're sorry you didn't understand why we make the changes we make. Basically going, not our problem, you're too dumb.
That's not a sorry. That's an I'm sorry you're so fucking dumb.
Yeah,
like,
and then they put out a devlog going,
Does their tank
how
line
free to play
come up to
economy
1990
works.
yet?
Wow.
Yes.
Did they
Yes.
did they have to redo all the stats on it, given the strategic analysis?
Nope. The Russian bias is still very much a thing. They've had an issue this week where they put some economy changes in that were the straw that broke the camel's back. And the player base is in uproar, review bombing the game. The devs have got pissy at that, going, review bombing the game is not the way to do it, choose a less destructive method. Conveniently, then going, come to the forums and speak to us. Meanwhile, every time someone posts something to the forums, they get banned from the forums. So what weapons left other than review bombing, right?
Yeah.
Fucking... But yeah, they were aggravating their player base. I don't know which is worse, CCP being ignorant or that. Like, I think CCP are aggravating through ignorance. Does that count?
No.
It's a very charitable thought.
Fnatic. They can, but not on Steam as well as the company would like. Steam are leaving them up. They've hit mostly negative for their recent reviews. 17,000 downvote reviews in 2-3 days.
But that's pretty bad.
Where are we in one last thing?
Caleb?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to say about all this, except for I feel like CCP is starting to smell like Blockbuster to me.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's just their whole way of doing things and their business model, and it's just they really start smelling like they're about to not even be in janitor mode, but just collapse like a souffle. I don't know. It's just I'm not seeing anything novel. I'm not seeing anything gutsy. Listening to something like Hilmer's Crypto Bro BS is just it really doesn't bode well for where CCP is going in the future. At least to me, I feel like they look like they've been neutered.
Who's next?
All right. You.
Me?
I believe. Yeah. Do you have anything?
You.
Other than
anything
CCP,
you wanted to chat?
Yeah, CCP, get your shit together and fix your game, right? Stuff's broken, fix it, and communicate it.
Yeah, and try not to tell people, falsities. Really, like when you have a GM that's going to go all out and explain something, make sure that what he's saying is correct before he hits enter.
Oh, yeah. That's all I got.
Look, chat, let's be honest. Chat will be working. Okay?
Someday.
We know chat will be working. Just wait for FanFest.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
God.
That's September this year, right?
It's September this year, yeah. And then the funny thing is, like, Blizzard, who definitely haven't been doing anything, who definitely have, been doing a lot of good things, right?
Aren't they supposed to be finishing up their Microsoft integration?
They're meant to be doing something, right? But they have like BlizzCon in November as well, so that surely is not going to be an absolute fucking car crash either.
Nope,
like
never.
Like,
so
they're supposed to be merging into Microsoft and getting rid of Bobby Kotick.
Oh, the merger that the UK put the block on, right?
Did they?
Yeah, we've blocked them. I don't know how that overall affects it if everyone else gives the go-ahead.
Alrighty.
Who fucking knows? Well, my last thing is apparently that the Discord is changing the way that they're like doing
oh yeah, the
names and stuff.
Stupidity.
There is like an article about that on Imperium News. If you guys want to check that out, it is. Oh fucking Christ! I hit inspect rather than paste.
Here's the TLDR.
It's there.
Okay. Discord had a naming scheme that made them actually distinct and different from everybody else.
And it worked, and it was great.
It worked,
and it's
so
fine.
they're going to get rid of that. And they are aware that part of their naming scheme has a problem where you can be confused by uppercase or lowercase letters, and
that the four numbers
right
after it may not be really prominent, so it's possible that somebody might be able to like make you think that it's the same person when it's not, like, you know.
So they're doubling down and going all in on the part that can be misleading as opposed to the part that can't be.
It's so fucking dumb.
Because, you know, they know that people are getting frustrated when they go to use their names and it's all full up because there are 10,000 of you already.
Like there's a reason why I pay for Nitro, and it is one of the reasons is that I can have the McLeod #0001. Like,
and rather than just adding more digits, which they could totally do, just stick another 2 in front.
Exactly.
They're gonna become like everybody else so that you can have your ID more easily stolen.
Or make it alphanumerical, right?
There's so many fucking problems. With where they're going, with where they're
claiming
at.
that you know that you can run out of the numbers, even though we all know it's randomly assigned.
Yeah, you can run out of numbers when you get the 10,000 person.
But they're acting like this stuff. They're acting like these numbers are not randomly assigned from the first time you use it. Look, I'll be completely honest. I have gone and looked for other horrenduses on the internet. You know how many I found? 0. So the fact that none of the 4 digits on my Discord are a 0 tells me this shit is completely random. They're full of crap.
There was one kind of aspect of like Nitro where you can actually choose your specific name, right? And that was what I went with.
You want to know how many iterations there are if you go alphanumerical? That means the whole alphabet and all numbers.
In 4
fucking
digits?
Crazy.
In 4 digits, yeah.
There's a lot.
So instead of 10,000,
it's 36. Fourth,
to the fourth, it's 240,000. That should be enough.
That should be enough. That should definitely be enough. Like, before people start like changing lowercase i's for uppercase l's and all that shit.
Oh yeah. I was only going for
the 4 digits.
Yeah.
And he's only going for the 4 digits, so your name would still be the same.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's Check out the thing, the LinkedIn chat, the article on Imperium News about that, like, for sure. I'm sure it'll get updated when Discord actually updates like the policy and stuff like that. But like, it's kind of like in the air right now.
And for anybody wondering when this will happen, soon, TM. They'll let you know.
It's in the process right now.
And hopefully there's enough negative, hopefully there's enough fucking negative kind of feedback about like what they're doing that they just basically can it and don't do it, because like, Christ almighty.
Oh, and we have that announcement, right? That someone is doing something after the meta show time tonight, right?
So the only other kind of things that we feel obliged to have to let you guys know is the fact that, like, unfortunately, we have been informed that unfortunately the meta show isn't on this week. So apologies for that, but there is going to be a kind of like a let's play. There's going to be a cool stream where a bunch of guys are going to be enjoying and playing the new Starship Troopers game, right?
Yep.
So that's going to be really fucking cool. Like, yeah.
I'll be in the next room watching the missus play Link and rescuing Zelda, even though Zelda is now dead or something. New Zelda game looks really good.
Yeah. So 2300 Eve will be when they're sort of like, chucking up the stream to play Starship Troopers. And that should be pretty fucking cool. It should be King Wolf, Garrick, Dave, Life Shifter, and it's like, it looks like a really fucking like everybody who I know who's played it says it's really fun, and it kind of has that real feel of like of like being in the movie kind of thing when it comes to sort of fighting and like fighting the swarm and stuff. So yeah,
I keep hearing one consistent complaint about it.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently they changed enough of the world while retaining enough of the world from the last game that people are going, wait a minute, this feels like I should know where I'm going, but I don't. I mean, it's a new game. People would just expect you're not going to know where you're going.
I just want to know if there's co-ed showers. That's it.
I don't think they did that part of the movie.
Damn, they're useless then.
That might be an age restricted expansion part of the game.
Okay, I'm waiting for the modding to happen then.
Yeah, that might be a moddable. That might be the mod part. Like. And as always, watch out for State of Thursday coming next Thursday. With the usual
watch out
crew.
for it. If you're not careful, you might.
I've got one last thing.
That's not what I meant, man. But
go.
Well, let's roll with that.
It is 7 minutes.
Let's roll with that.
One last thing.
Okay.
Asus routers all just went offline worldwide because of a bad security update.
What? Oh, for fuck's sake!
What?
They can't do a single fucking patch, right?
Oh God.
In before that, like that particular that particular update was the Asus board BIOS update that they put in the wrong direction.
Do you have one of those circus tune things on your soundboard, Barco, for all this clown world stuff?
It needs the bum 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 bum.
I would say Asus is on fire.
Yeah.
Jesus. Either that or the Benny Hill theme song, right?
Yeah, that's Yakety Sax.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I think that is copyrighted.
Is it?
Yakety Sax? No, it's way too old for that.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair.
Yes.
All right. Nope. We done?
Yeah,
we're good. I think we're good.
We have no more punishment for the audience.
No.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, co-hosts, for being here. We'll see what we can do to get the Twitch chat thing fixed.
I would say thanks to all of our people who subbed to the channel today. I don't have a readout as to who subbed because that just doesn't appear on my moderator panel because reasons. I don't know why, and I don't know why we don't have a thing that literally says who subbed, who hasn't subbed, and kind of gives us a nice thing. But we'll work on that. We'll see if we can get something like that. But thank you very much to everybody who subbed.
Absolutely, and we are out of here.